Do you want your movement to go from looking like this, where you have to constantly ADS every corner, you barely can crouch and stand up, but you can just about shoot your enemies?
I don't need it.
To looking like this, where your movement feels fluid, your enemies can't shoot you, your enemies absolutely bamboozled, they'll be facing different directions, you'll be hitting clips like this. So these are hands down the best movement settings for Season 3. I'm going to go through my settings right now, so make sure you take screenshots as you go through. So head over to Controller, then Advanced, target aim assist on like before, aim assist type default like before as well. And then these are the movement settings that you need to make sure you have. So aim response curve needs to be dynamic. So that's why in the clip that I showed you before in the private match, I was able to speed up my aim a little bit quicker, slow it down, that kind of thing. So dynamic's perfect for that. And then you want your custom sensitivity per zoom. Like in my previous settings videos, this is exactly the same. So make sure your low zoom is on 0.85 and the rest of it on 1. And then input dead zones. Like I mentioned in my previous video, I talked about how to make sure your dead zones are specific to your controller. So go check that previous video out and I'll link that in the description below as well. Go back to controller. I want you to try 1212 sensitivity. I know 1212 might seem a little bit high for you guys, but having it on 1212 and having your custom sensitivity per zoom, your low zoom on 0.85 is a really nice combination. That'll make you feel like you're moving quicker and able to snap onto enemies quicker, but also have that sticky feel when you're shooting your enemies. And now these gameplay settings are really important now. So aim down sight behavior on hold, automatic tac sprint, you want that on, equipment hold behavior hold, ADS plus melee. Then you want to go back to advanced and go to movement behaviors. So auto move forward, always off. You don't want to be moving forward without intending to. Tactical sprint behavior on single tap run. Again, like I mentioned in season 2, you also want this on still. Ground mantle on. Automatic airborne mantle on partial, automatic ground mantle on off. Invert slide behavior, we're actually going to change that to inverted. And the reason is because in my previous settings, you'd have to hold it down to then dolphin dive. But for this, you just tap dive once and it gets you into that dolphin dive straight away. So it can get you into cover or out of cover quicker to then engage with your enemies. Plunging underwater, you want that plunge freely. Parachute auto deploy off so you can get as close to the ground as possible and then engage in fights a little bit quicker. Sprinting door dash always on. If you have this off, you'll be running into doors without being able to open them and it makes your gameplay a lot slower. And this is a really important setting you want to change. So ledge, hang, mantle behavior, you want that on movement based. Movement based means for this, when you're jumping onto a ledge and you're hanging from it, you'll automatically climb up that ledge if you push forwards on your analog stick. So it makes movement really quicker in that sense. Really, really important change there to have in season 3. And I'm telling you, with these slight changes to movement, season 3 will feel massively better in terms of movement. It's not exactly where we want to be yet in terms of how it used to be in Rebirth, but we're getting closer and closer each update. But make sure you try these settings out. And here's some gameplay showing just how broken these new movement settings are. Just watch. No! Fucking hell. Oh.